And on a warm but wet Saturday night from South Florida, Miami FC looking to close out the season on a strong note. Hartford Athletic comes to town looking to keep their season afloat, picking up more points here tonight would prove worthy for them to get a final playoff spot. USL Championship action resumes here tonight with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I am David Gascon. As we look at the last encounter between these two sides, Ricky, it wasn't pleasant for Miami. You have to go all the way back to week number 5. Hartford on the home field got things done against Miami.
But if you are Antonio Chirino, you can take some confidence into this game because you scored 2 goals at a team that's been struggling to score in this 2024 campaign with only 25. So now as we take a look at this Eastern Conference end, you look at the bottom of the table, Miami FC eliminated from playoff contention, but yet you have tried to play for and contracts for Antonio Chirino and for Hartford Athletic. Can you continue to push up this Eastern Conference and make it really interesting as we approach the playoffs right around the corner?
Yeah, they continue to grab points, does Hartford, over the last 3 weeks. So that's important for them. And for Miami, they get to play spoilers tonight. You have a couple of guys that have made an impact so far this season. One of them, Alan Gavilanes, and also the other, Frankie Lopez.
Frank Lopez, he's going to be the number 9 for this Miami FC. He's a ruthless worker, the way that he likes to run off the channels, likes to play off the blind side of individual defenders, but he also is a very clinical finisher. You get him in around that 18-yard box, more times often than not, he will find the back of the net. I do think the question for Antonio Chirino is, what does the service look like into Frank Lopez? Because he needs to be the best player on the field if Miami FC have any hopes of keeping all 3 points.
Yeah, Miami FC looking for a season split and also put a little bit of a wrench in the year for Hartford Athletic. Coming up on the other side, we'll get to the starting 11 and first touch. It's Hartford Athletic, Miami FC, coming up next.
Some people think Miami is just flamingos and palm trees.
And hell yes, we have badass sunsets.
But Miami's Little Havana,
Doral,
Little Haiti,
Hialeah,
Wynwood, Coconut Grove,
Kendall,
Calle Ocho,
Sweetwater,
Homestead,
cortaditos y coladas
empanadas y croquetas.
is so much more. This is the 305.
This is who we really are. This is what we are all about.
I am Latino.
I'm a disruptor.
I am LGBTQ.
I am a villain.
I am a mother.
I am Haitian.
I am an athlete.
I am an activist.
I am a king.
I am American dream.
I am the future.
I am.
I am Miami FC.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
Over 2,000 Toyotas are in stock and on their way to Toyota of Hollywood. Get our lowest price on every Toyota, including Corolla, Camry, Highlander, Tacoma, and RAV4. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,975. We'll pay you up to $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book value for your trade. That's $2,000 more than it's worth at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Tonight's match is brought to you by Micromobility.com. Toyota of Hollywood, we speak your language. Hablamos tu idioma. Audi, visit your South Florida Audi dealers today. And Baptist Health, your orthopedic care specialists. We're back here at Pitbull Stadium with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I am David Gascon. Ricky, the starting lineup for the home side.
4-back system at Toronto and Cardona. Look for them to join the attack, but also be compact in their structure. But my eyes go for Antonio Chirino in that middle 3. Genzano, Desart, and Molina. What does that relationship look like in terms of the spacing, but also in terms of the tempo that they want to play? And then you want your front 3. You want those players to be the outlets, to stay high and wide, and to ask a lot of questions of this Hartford Athletic side, who has conceded 41 times this season.
Yeah, and for Hartford Athletic, right now they're 11th in the Eastern Conference standings, but they're 4 points behind the final playoff spot. Their deployment tonight looked a little bit different for Brendan Berg and his troops. Ricky, you think about this, where they were to where they're at right now, they have a great deal of confidence. They've got points in the last 3 matches.
A team that on the road exactly knows who they want to be. 2 wins, 3 ties in their last 5 draws, but for Brendan Burke, he has the flexibility to change and switch in and out of formations. Hodge and Samadi, the 2 wingbacks, but it can quickly turn into a back 4. But Harrison, Vacane, Zeal, 2 players that want to get the ball, they want to slow the game down. In doing that, now you can play a little bit more direct into that front 3. Marcus Epps will stay high and wide. Edwards and Jang, those 2 players very similar in their profile. Look for them to be combative, but also very clinical in front of the goal.
Ribeiro in between the sticks tonight, 5-8-7 record, goals against at $113, save percentage at .794, and 5 clean sheets on the year. I think for Hartford, Ricky, one thing that you can say for them is they're pretty strong down the middle.
I think you look at the Hartford side right now, not only down the middle, but the talent that Brendan Burke was able to bring in the offseason. But now, how do you get those players on the back end of this season to be firing on all cylinders as you continue to push up this Eastern Conference? Massive 90 minutes for the visiting side here tonight.
And if they could pick up 3 points tonight, it would be huge because they can leapfrog North Carolina. Loudoun United also plays tonight. They have 34 points. So the difference between the 2 squads is a pair of losses. But with all that being said, for Hartford, they still have to take care of business tonight. Brendan Burke did say they can't overlook anybody now. And the good thing for them is they're on the prowl, not being hunted. The bad thing is they're running out of time. Only a handful of weeks left in the regular season. So in matches like this, and it's no disrespect to Miami, but Hartford has to get 3 points. This contest is now underway. Miami in their home uniforms tonight going from left to right. Hartford Athletic in the road kits, the white tops and bottoms will be moving from right to left on the attack. Miami this season only has 3 victories. Those victories have all occurred at home. They're 3-11-1 on home ground. Outside of that, 0-11-1 away from South Florida. For Hartford, a scoreless draw against Memphis, but again, they picked up points in the last 3 contests. And they have Oakland on deck. For Miami, 2 best scorers, Gavilanes. And on the outside, Frank Lopez, combining so far for 12 goals on the campaign.
It's a really good action from this Miami FC side. You saw on one side of the field, and now you have the weak-sided outside back, Alejandro Mitrano, come around the corner and set pieces for a team that has been struggling to find the back, and that can be really incisive here for Miami FC.
Corner kick brought to you by Audi. Visit your South Florida Audi dealers today. Cardona will take it. He's amongst the starters again tonight. Cardona making his 23rd start in 24 matches for Miami FC, who sit at 3-22-2 on the year. Gavilanes back to Cardona, a line drive, mix up Barbier with a left-footed tap. Pressed away by Hartford. And they get this thing to midfield. Ricky, take a look at the keys of tonight's matchup. What do we have?
I think for Miami FC, you just have to be confident on the ball. That's something that Antonio Chirino mentioned on our phone call. That second half at New Mexico was a lot better performance. As for Hartford Athletic, a team that hasn't scored a goal in the last 2 games. So you need to have trust in your attacking players to be those game changers that they are.
Oddly enough, it was something interesting that Brendan Burke had said during the coach's call with us this week. He said he wants Miami to play with the ball, and he feels like that's where they're most vulnerable. Have you ever heard of something like that before?
I have not, but if you are Brendan Burke, you're looking at this side. If you're Brendan Burke, you're looking at this side and understanding that you just need to be effective, especially on the road, right? So this Miami FC side may be lacking a little bit of confidence. So let them have the game come to you. And when you can force turnovers, how quickly can you play direct?
So different for Miami compared to where they were a couple seasons ago. Even last year, club that was a point out of a playoff spot, and now they're at the bottom of the basement. It's different when you're in the penthouse, Ricky. It's one of those things where you look at Lou City, you saw Pittsburgh last year, obviously the rise of Phoenix, Sacramento in those spots, but for clubs like Miami and Hartford this year, they're looking up. Hartford has had a decent season, but they can make it a special one if they can go on a run here to close out the campaign. Match just underway from Pitbull Stadium. We're in the 4th minute. Closing out the regular year for both these clubs. For Miami, most of their work after this will be away from South Florida. Miami, in fact, after this contest, have one more affair here at Pitbull Stadium. It's on October the 5th. That'll be against Pittsburgh. That'll be the home finale, and then we call it a wrap in 2024. Foul here by Genzano. Brendan Burke also mentioned he'll get a few guys back because of international call-ups. CONCACAF Nations League. Caribbean Cup is also going on.
A player that he is extremely high on, Mamadou Dieng, is really coming to his own as this 2024 season has progressed. 7 goals. Big physical number 9, but very comfortable with the ball at his feet. Gets caught by Genzano there.
Dieng, a world-class player. It's almost like in a way that Dieng is so good, it's like he's delivering coffee to the entire front line of Hartford when he's on the pitch. That's what it feels like, Ricky. Just me, I don't know.
I had a chance to speak with Brendan Burke throughout this season. He said, not a matter if it's a matter of when we see him going overseas. Scouts have been calling this Hartford athletic side
Lopez mixing it up. Yeah, Ricky, when you get that sense as a player, it's weird, right? Because you get that feeling as a player that it's not a level of arrogance, it's just confidence that you're bound for bigger things. But when your head coach knows it, your teammates know it, does that actually mix up the psyche of the player, knowing that you're going to go on to bigger and better things?
I think we'll start with Brendan Burke, and it's a messaging to Mamadou Dieng as well, saying, look, you're not going to go on to overseas. You're not going to go, whether it is to the MLS level, take that next jump in your career if you do not dominate where you are presently, right? So you have to have both feet on the ground and do the best that you can, because we've seen his progression. Obviously started a bit underneath Romario Williams and understanding what it takes to be successful at the USL Championship level. But as Romario Williams has gone out from this Hartford Athletics side, now that position has been Mamadou Dieng's. Now, what do you do with the opportunity? He's been fantastic. Here he is right here.
Yeah, 7 goals on the season, trying to get around the corner, bodied out by Palacios. We play on.
Good recovery run from Palacios. Not easy to stay like for like with the striker for Hartford Athletic. Cuts down the angle and makes life very difficult for Dieng in the end.
Dieng, 7 goals in 23 contests. This is his 13th start of the year. He's logged just about 1,200 minutes. A big guy, lengthy, 6'2" and about 170 pounds. So not only can he play downhill on the attack, but you're able to utilize him on set pieces too. Corners and free kicks, anything that's crossing through the 18. It's a different kind of swim move by Gavilanes is called for the foul. Neither team having an opportunity just yet. Temperatures at kickoff, 83 degrees. The humidity was, well, rather interesting, 78% humidity. Thoughts of rain throughout South Florida. It's that time of the year. But all in all, Mother Nature giving us some sun for a bit. Molina back to Kadim Nadia. Nadia in some tight quarters. It's part of the testament from Brendan Burke is the inability for Miami FC to play fluid from outside and also through their back line. Antonio Nocerino in his first season as head coach of Miami FC. Hodge. Man from Trinidad and Tobago. A few players that have been busy with international call-ups. Loose for Nadie. The middle of the pitch, some collision there. Play on, no whistle, no foul. Memphis with a scoreless draw against Hartford Athletic. Last time out for Miami FC, they lost at New Mexico 1-0. Birmingham on deck. That's the 22nd. Molina here. Molina.
Good ball.
Back post. Metrano, the header, trying to go back the other way. Ibero will cover it up.
The second time that we've seen Molina have eyes and the ability to change a point of attack. Metrano very decisive when he joins the attack on the weak side. But as this ball comes across, if you are Michael Lawrence or Frank Lopez, you have to have the ability to slash across that near post, because if you do, it's 1-0 Miami FC.
Yeah, Molina looked like a barista there. Just serving it up, Ricky. Little milk with it, almost a perfect connection. Miami FC so far this year, 25 goals. That's not been the problem. The major problem is the concession. They have conceded 63 goals on the year. This portion of the broadcast brought to you by Toyota of Hollywood. We speak your language, hablamos tu idioma. Hartford won on home ground earlier this year, 3-2, a late goal. Made it more aesthetically pleasing for Miami FC. But a loss is still a loss. Hodge looking deep. Jang elevating Nadie, though. He's 6'7". He'll win that matchup more times than not. Epps, who's out there. Some good contact inside the 18, but the officials let him play on. Edwards is surrounding. Good drive, Epps. That shot was fought off nicely by Genzano. Ball is cleared back to midfield. It's the best chances so far for the road team. That's what we pretty much expect. When they got together earlier this year, Hartford was playing downhill a lot. And Miami was looking to recover. Made it interesting, but 3-2 was too late. We'll certainly keep an eye on the out-of-town scoreboards as this night goes long. Impacts for Hartford for sure. Again, if they win, they'll have 34 points. That would be 1 point behind the A spot right now in the Eastern Conference. And still some time left on the clock. But if they drop 3 here tonight, they're going to be in a world of hurt. Part of the challenge for Hartford is not only winning here tonight, but consistently playing good ball on the regular to close out the season when there's other teams vying for playoff spots or positioning, or both.
It's the right idea from Tristan Hodge, just trying to find Amadou Jang. Good goalkeeping in the 8. Bad giveaway.
One of many that we regularly see turning and firing was Jang.
Over 2,000 Toyotas are in stock and on their way to Toyota of Hollywood. Get our lowest price on every Toyota, including Corolla, Camry, Highlander, Tacoma, and RAV4. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,975. We'll pay you up to $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book value for your trade. That's $2,000 more than it's worth at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Back here live from Pitbull Stadium with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm David Gascon. 14th minute. No score yet. Edwards out wide. Edwards only his 11th appearance of the season with Hartford. Spent a couple years with RGV. Had 6 goals and 3 helpers during his time there. Samadia.
These are moments now, if you are Miami FC, you have the ability to force a turnover, but you need to be quicker, playing a little bit more vertical, because the way that this Hartford athletic side, they like to attack, they like to be expansive, they like to throw numbers forward. So in doing that, if you can force a turnover, they leave themselves vulnerable going back the other way. So transitional moments for Miami FC need to be a little bit more decisive in nature.
Yeah, they're minus 17 the goal differential category. They've scored 24, conceded 41. On the outside, looking in for a reason, Gavilanes. Cardona, let's see where he goes with this action, top of the box. Miami FC holding possession though. Genzano. To Zart. Zart coming from Tampa. Top of the box, Metrano, but that was a force feed. Looking for Lopez, intercepted. Jang and Barbier tied up. Barbier doing what he could to hold up Jang for just a brief moment. Doesn't have to be obvious, but somewhat effective tugging on the jersey.
And these are moments that I do think if you are Brendan Burke in this Hartford athletic side, you need Marlon Harrison and Van Kazeel to play on different planes. Too many times your double pivot are getting caught just playing right next to each other, and it makes life very easy for Miami FC in their defensive structure. How do you play someone in that gray area in the pocket? Because now you can pull out Joey Desart or Genzano, and that can open up a little bit of a passing lane into Mamadou Jang. There's just no connection between that middle third and front line for Hartford Athletic.
Some funky turnovers for each squad in the last 30 seconds. Hodge with the immediate throw-in. Miami, the only team in the Eastern Conference that has been eliminated from postseason contention. Not that we need to worry about everything out west, but nobody's been eliminated yet from the Western Conference. Leader of the pack, Lou City, followed by Charleston and Tampa, Birmingham, Detroit, then Indy, Rhode Island, and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh was nosediving for a bit, but they've recovered, and Bob Lilly has to be happy about that. Through the box, Jang turned in, fired! That shot goes screaming over the crossbar. Van Kazeel let it rip. Hartford ever so close for making it 1-0.
Just talked about the two players in central locations because they both have quality to join the attack, but as this ball comes kindly across, just a bit too casual in the way that he approaches it. His hips are open, elects just to pass it in, but you need to have your shoulders over the ball to make sure there's no chance of it rising over the crossbar. It's a really good knockdown ball from Tristan Hodge back across into a dangerous area.
Best opportunity of the night for either side. Miami has not attempted a shot yet. The Molina service to Metrano was a header on the weak side that he tried to put back into the box. Van KZ almost made it 1-0 here early in the first half. Samadia, hesitation on the cross, broken up though. Chance here for Miami to counter. And Ricky, that's just what you mentioned too. They need to pick up the pace if they're going to try to counter, not be so deliberate working it up.
Also a bit too predictable as well for Miami FC. This ball comes century, now you pop it wide. Tristan Hodge just steps in and denies yet again another transitional moment. But I'd like to see a little tactical change for Brendan Burke. Samadia has popped onto this left side as a left-sided wing back. The Shields has played on the right side as a wing back. So the ability to fluctuate in and out of a 3-back versus a 4-back system.
Mike DeShields. Third start in 3 matches for Hartford. He was just picked up a couple months ago from Pittsburgh in a transfer. Began his pro career with Loudoun United. Stays up though in the Northeast. Cross looking for Jang, and the DA catches that. Not at its highest point, but pretty good box out of Jang. 20th minute, Miami's still searching for some offense. Last time they had a victory was against Monterey Bay. Doing so after Monterey Bay picked up a couple early yellow cards. They were able to play 11 on 10 for the remainder of that contest. Prior to that was a victory against San Antonio back on April the 27th. Desart. End of the first half, we'll have stats, we'll have highlights, some news and notes. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard in USL Championship. Also got a little feature, get to see the top goal and save of the week in USL Championship. It's coming fast and fury as we get into the good seasons part. Playoffs right around the corner. Barbier, lazy pass, intercepted, and then he picks up a cheap foul.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, David. As Danny Barbier continues his run, essentially now just pop it out wide to Matrano. It's a simple decision. Just too much body, essentially. Force a turnover, concede a foul. Little things like that have been the detriment for Miami FC this season.
Fortunate for Miami, that did not lead to an odd man rush. Joey Farrell, native from Blue Bell, Pennsylvania. He has started in every match except for 2 this year. Another foul. It'd be a common one for Cardona. So things picking up physically for Miami FC. Nabil Bensala, our lead official tonight.
Really interesting location for Hartford Athletic. Especially with the bodies oncoming, you're aiming for right around that back post area. No one touches it, can squeak in. Any sort of redirect, a nightmare for the goalkeeper.
Question is, who takes this? Hodge looks to be on the ball right now. Edwards to the left. Samadia far left. Look at the size that's out there. Farrell, 6'2". Jang, 6'2". DeShields, 6'1". Marcus Epps, 6 feet tall. Good service into the box, just missing on that attempt. Was a good look from Marcus Epps. They work short.
Flawless defending from Michael Lawrence as well. Say like for like with Marcus Epps to get there right before the attacking Hartford Athletic player.
Here's Hodge, former member of Colorado Springs. Hodge, slight hesitation. Ball goes back almost where it came. Held into the attacking third. No real concept there for Hartford. Or about just putting it into a dangerous spot. At least that was the thought, but nobody around. Edwards was the recipient. Jang also there. Couldn't elevate though off his back foot. '25th minute. It almost has the feel like this match is in the 75th.
No real rhythm.
Yeah.
It's been stop and start. No team has really imposed their identity or really dominated the side. You're Brendan Burke. You're probably the happier of the two managers. But 25 minutes in, you want to show a little bit more going forward and putting more pressure on NDA. Only one shot. 7 touches in the opposition box. You know, have a lot more statistical advantage if you have any hopes of taking all 3 points here.
Hairston to Farrell. Farrell's got a wide open park though. Glides it through. Edwards pulls the trigger. No. The best idea from that far out. Samadia, who elevated. Hodge here. Hodge. Ball broke through. There was nobody around in white though for Hartford. And a heads up play by Palacios, literally and figuratively speaking.
Bit awkward between Palacios and Metrano as this ball comes across. Really difficult to deal with. It's actually off the chest of Alejandro Metrano. Give credit to him, staying tuned in mentally, especially with the body coming across from Junior Palacios.
Talk about awkward. Put yourself in a peculiar spot playing this far back if you're Miami FC. But I mean, the book is out, Ricky. This is part of the weakness of Miami FC is their inability to play through the back and out.
This is also the decision making.
Yeah.
If you're Metrano, there's no need to play this ball back negative into Palacios when he has 2 bodies on him.
Yep.
Clear your lines, play a little bit more positive, and gain some real estate higher up the field. Good ball here.
Lawrence turn the corner. Molina. Miami FC trying to flex a little bit of speed. Molina tries to push it through, could not. Lawrence was the intended target. Right idea, just could not judge the defense of Hartford. Nice break up there from Palacios.
Nice little battle that we have between Mamadou Jang and Junior Palacios. 2 physical players, 2 talented players.
See the shots, 3-0 in favor of Hartford. Possession clearly on the positive side for the road team. And expected goals, .28 for Hartford. Goose egg for Miami so far. Hairston, Farrell, and all the way back to Jordan Scarlett.
1-2.
Miami trying to force a little bit of a pressure situation here. 28th minute. Not sure where that ball was going. Oddly enough, too, with Lopez pulled up a little bit. If Frankie hits the accelerator, he might have An odd man break the other way for Miami, but they just slow play it up. Barbier, Joey Desart. Acquired midway through the season. Feels like half the team for Miami was acquired midway through the year. Vetrano trying to grab the corner. It's a pretty funky play. Ribeiro had a sky up for it.
Vetrano has been the outlet for Miami FC on that far side. The one that has the most intent in his play. Great first touch to create a little bit of separation, and this is just pure will to whip this ball into a dangerous area. This Shields on bit slow in terms of his reaction. No nonsense from Ribeiro, taking no chances, puts it open over his crossbar.
First corner on this side of the pitch for Miami FC. Molina will take it. Gavilanes, if they want to play short, is nearest. Four that were near the 6. Gavilanes going back post. Ribeiro comes out, runs over Lawrence. Vetrano with a big boot. Climbing the ladder, Ribeiro knocks it away at the very last moment.
Starts with a bit of fantastic goalkeeping from Ribeiro. With the traffic oncoming, you have to be decisive.
Gavilanes back into the box. Genzano. Ball had some pretty good backspin to it. Bronco got it back. Palacios. Vetrano just way too late getting rid of that ball as we look at the previous sequence.
Does well to clear his line, but this is some strike from Alejandro Vetrano. Trying to bend it back across into that top corner, even better save. The athletic ability, the timing of the leap to deny Miami FC their opening goal here tonight.
Barrow had a little wink for his back line, Jordan Scarlett in particular. Molina. It's like the first time tonight that Miami has shown up for this match offensively. 31st minute. Desart into the box. Oh, nearly connected was Lawrence. He wanted to give it over to Gavilanes. Excellent concept, just unable to execute. Hodge on the touch. And Kazeel out wide. Samadia into the box looking for Jang. Van Kazeel had a moment. Samadia took a funky ricochet out. Top of the box, that drive going wide. Jang looked like he was offside. And we have a hydration break here in the 32nd minute. So no score, but yeah, a little hot, pretty humid. We can either have some water, some orange peels, Ricky, maybe some espresso, whatever your preference is, Ricky. We got it for you. I'll serve it up.
You're gonna need something if you are Brendan Berger and Antonio Torino, especially in that final third. Like you said, David, over the last couple minutes, Miami FC started to grow into this game and get a little bit more confidence higher up the field. But for Brendan Berger, tempo just needs to be more. The ball needs to move quicker between lines, and you need a little bit of verticality. Everything has been into Jang's feet. Someone to ride the line. Don't think it's a coincidence. We see him speaking to Marcus Seps, because that's the likely of the players that has the ability to stretch this back line for Miami.
What up for Miami FC, though? Do you feel like there's any major changes with what Antonio Nocerino's troops are doing right now?
I mean, we've seen them get the ball over really cheaply in the back, right? So that first pass to relieve some of that pressure is going to be vital for their success. But also, when you do recover the ball, like Hartford Athletic, it needs to be quicker.
Yeah.
You need to be more decisive. 1-2 touch out of your body, play the ball into path, because we've seen their best actions when they play quickly out to Molina here, and he does really well to go back the other side with Vetrano. So you need to see a little bit more of those combinations if you are Miami FC.
One thing that'll be different here is for Hartford playing on the road. They don't have a good road record, 1-9-3. we've heard it from several coaches when they come to South Florida. It's hard to generate emotion in a building where you're not getting any of it.
And the energy, right? How do you create your own energy? How do you create your own environment? Especially for this Hartford athletic side, the humid conditions, how hot it is, the synthetic surface, all play a factor. But the message for Brendan Burke is going to say both teams have to deal with it. So how do you adapt, and how do you have the ability to bypass adversity?
And a good look at Jang, speaking of Samadia.
And it's worth noting for Hartford Athletic, no Michi Galina on the bench. Danny Barrera, Tyler Friedman, Makangila, Yunus Budadi, Griffin Thomas, all players that can contribute on the attacking third, but their special player, Michi Galina, not in the 18.
Anderson Asiadu picked up a couple yellows last match. He's also not in uniform tonight. Not easy, but when you win early on, it makes life much more bearable when the season goes along with international duties. But we've seen a lot of players in USL Championship that have had the call-ups internationally. CONCACAF action going on right now, which is great experience, especially for young players, which are just getting their first taste of that international flavor. Play resumes after a hydration break. No score yet. And Zeal had a good look towards target. His shot went over the crossbar. Matrano got stopped by Ribeiro on his attempt from about 30 yards out. Those are the most threatening, at least for now. Detroit leading New Mexico 1-0. Indy over El Paso, same score, 1-0. And Birmingham has jumped on top of Loudoun United 1-0 in the 23rd minute. After the hydration break, just pretty in a hurry to keep going. Palacios? I don't know.
I'm attorney Julian Rudolph. I founded JR Law in 2017, and since then, I've recovered millions of dollars for my injured clients. If you've been injured, I'll handle your case personally from start to finish. Call me today at 877-GET-JR-LAW.
37th minute, Hartford and Miami scoreless.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Your double pivot about 5 yards away from each other. Now you have one player for Miami FC, the ability to mark two. You just split the difference, exactly what Michael Lawrence does. So if you are Marlon Harrison and Vake Zeal, one needs to provide a little bit more support underneath Mamadou Dieng so you can just play off of him. That is exactly where it's breaking down for Hartford Athletic time and time again.
Hasn't been a great night for Hartford for pretty decent stretches. They've been okay. Molina almost split the defense. Jang not happy with that. Palacios, I imagine Palacios and Jang will have more of this throughout the night. They've been back at it on numerous occasions.
We've seen Junior Palacios a handful of times this season, never one to shy down from a physical altercation. So now if you are Mamadou Jang, how good can you be with your body in your hold-up play?
'39th minute. Statistically speaking, not a whole lot to rave about. 4 shots for Hartford, 1 for Miami. Miami has the only shot on target, though. See the possession, 56% to 44. But it does feel like for large stretches of this match, it's not really identity at all. Jang, who had one of the better chances tonight. He's been marked well, at least by Palacios for the time being. No bookings for either side. So it does allow each team to open it up physically in the second half if the occasion calls for it. And KZL, Scarlett. Here's Farrell. Farrell out wide, Tristan Hodge. Hodge, line drive, top of the box. Gavilanes and company trying to spearhead a counter for Frankie Lopez. Oddly enough, I don't remember recalling Frankie Lopez being involved in any action tonight. Shocking.
There's been a lot of players for Miami FC that we haven't really said their name throughout this game. Frank Lopez, one of them. Alan Gavilanes, another one. And Junior Palacio makes the most out of this one. You just see the reaction of Mamadou Jang. Ball popped over the top. Tristan Hodge trying to play into the path of his striker. And at the last second, Junior Palacio comes across. There's no real contact there whatsoever, but you just see Junior Palacios, how clever he is, trying to make the most of it. Jang pulls out. He needs to be very careful as he's having a conversation with Nabil Ben Salah.
Casual pan down onto the field here at Pitbull Stadium. Decent sunset. We haven't seen that for quite a bit. Raining last night. Muggy the other night. It's hurricane season, Ricky. Rumor has it anyway. Was it hurricane season till October?
Weather's not my forte.
No?
No.
Hey, you have a 50-50 chance of being right if you're in weather, right?
So I'll say yes.
Yeah. And
There
you still get to keep your job.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Only other job you can have that kind of success, be in the Hall of Fame, as a baseball player.
There you go.
Cardona. Molina here. Possession 58% to 42 for Hartford. But these numbers don't tell you a whole heck of a lot either. Match has been rather polite, I'll say that much. Some creativity, but all in all for Hartford, they haven't been careful, they just haven't been aggressive.
Just been one option, it's been Jang. There's no great move.
Gavilanes, good pull on the trigger. Ribeiro, though, sees that ball go right into his mitts.
It's a player that you need to have a little bit more influential in this first half. Evan Gavilanes, so comfortable in tight spaces, left footer, so always going to come centrally, unable to get his hips around it and really ask questions of Ribeiro straight at him. But he's a player that Antonio Nocerino continues to rave about on our phone calls. The talent is always there, but now it's a mentality that he needs to get right. What it means to be a true professional on and off the field.
Check our fourth official in a brief moment. See how much stoppage time we have for this opening half. My guess is 3 minutes.
Educated guess?
Educated guess.
Insider information or no?
I never reveal sources.
There you go.
I'm like the Adam Schefter of soccer. Cardona.
But it's a bit of a tactical change now for Miami FC. Now you just leave Michael Lawrence and Frank Lopez high and trying to occupy and pin back Hartford Athletics. So now, once they recover the ball, they're just playing direct. Saying go 1v1, win your individual battles, and you will find success. So if you are Brendan Burke, how do you counteract that? You need to have a +1 in your rest defense. Always have a numerical advantage throughout your back line.
There you go. There we go. 3 minutes of stoppage time. I win a lifetime supply of nothing forever. Awesome. There just hasn't been a whole lot in this match. Now we'll see if Hartford can set up Jang. Jang on the run. Oh, elevation! Nadie off the crossbar. He almost looked like a volleyball player setting that to himself off the crossbar. That's about as far deep as you can go in between the sticks if you're Kadim Nadie.
That's exactly what Mamadou Jang brings into this game. Plays off the blind side between Palacios and Cardona. Fantastic header as he just snaps it down. Even better save from Nadie. Punches it up to crossbar. Flawless in his positioning.
I mean, there's playing deep in your net, and that is about as deep as one can be. I mean, he's lucky enough he didn't volley that off the crossbar and into his net. Best moment of the half, it goes to Jang and Hartford.
But it's a glimpse of how explosive Jang can be. Doesn't need a lot of the ball to make his impact felt.
But you can see that play unfolding too. I mean, it's just instinctive player. Jang credits a lot of the veterans on this club of helping him develop. Edwards can't make a move around Cardona. This would be a corner kick. And oddly enough, that's one of the things that, you know, if you have players in your team for Brendan Burke that don't speak a lot of English yet. I mean, football is a world sport, so there's certain things you're going to pick up innately anyway, and Jang has been as good as one can be and assimilating to this club rather quickly. Hodge, pretty good service on the retrieval. Jang will pick it up. Jang working quickly with the bend, volleyed up. Nadie comes out with the punch. Miami FC trying to escape. Toronto with the foul, but even with the embellishment of Hodge. Nadie is down on the ground too. Cardona a bit scratched up, showing the elite official. You had 2 players in this line of sight down. The DA here.
It's good goalkeeping. Much like Ribeiro earlier in this first half, have to clear every single player as you decide to come for the ball, teammate or not. He does just that.
Final stages of this first half. High bender in, coming out into DA. And that should do it for the first half, and mercifully it comes to a close. Shots in the opening half as the DA punts this one to the press box. 4-3 in favor of Hartford, but for Miami FC, they had the only 2 on target. All in all, wasn't a joyful first 45 minutes of play, Ricky?
Just nothing going forward for either side. This game has been played in that middle third, and it's been kind of stuck there. So now if you're Brendan Burke or Antonio Chirino, this game is going to be played for, that's going to be made a difference of just one play, a set piece, a produce of individual magic, all to play for in this next 45 minutes.
Hartford Athletic vying for points in their 4th consecutive game, but they need 3 so far. The end of 45 minutes of play. Nothing to write home about just yet. Hartford Athletic and Miami FC scores at the end of the first half. We'll be back.
Over 2,000 Toyotas are in stock and on their way to Toyota of Hollywood. Get our lowest price on every Toyota, including Corolla, Camry, Highlander, Tacoma, and RAV4. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,975. We'll pay you up to $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book value for your trade. That's $2,000 more than it's worth at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
At the break here, Hartford and Miami. Miami trying to do their best to spoil the season for Hartford Athletic. Coming up next, we got some special moments. USL Championship, save and goal of the week. Fellas, take it away.
Back-to-back seasons with 12 goals on the nose in 22 and 23. Done again, and it rainbows in! Nothing in 10 for Bradley Sample, but it counts all the same. Caught Vegas by surprise. All he could do is look on, wonder what went wrong. Pittsburgh leads 2-0. Floated over the top, off the chest, Marcanic scores! He is on a tear through the USL Championship. Goal 21 and 1-0 to the Battery. Juan David Torres lofts this ball, back post. Marcanic! Spectacular! What an incredible volley that is! To torch the threads and make it 3-0.
Is it somebody's birthday? Dad, come watch us hit this ugly piñata. Dad!
When Hornets show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Pain doesn't care who you are or why you hurt, but pain can be mastered if you know the way. Fight back with Tiger Balm's legendary herbal power. Trusted for over 100 years, our proven blend of camphor, menthol, and essential oils tames pain with the strength and speed of the tiger, so that you can rise above pain and get back to living. This is the way of the tiger.
Recentra bien el balón dentro del área. ¡Hombre, ese es el segundo! La combinación es buena. Se canta el 1-1 de local. ¡No te puedo creer! Increíble, Felipe. Y señoras y señores, la USL Championship.
When mosquitoes show up, so do we. Terminix it.
Yeah, trick. I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
No one was born a hero. It's an everyday journey. There are no shortcuts, no days off, no perfect scenarios. Things won't always go the way you expect. But overcoming challenges is part of the game too. Your time is now. When passion runs through you, become your own hero.
We are back right now. Macron halftime report with Ricky Lopez Espin. I am David Gascon. Scoreless right now. 45 minutes of play. Ricky, it's time to take a look at some news and some notes around USL Championship. And what do we got?
Nick Marcanic equaled the league single season scoring record with 25 goals up to date. They play against the Switchbacks here tonight. Will he break the record? And Lou City becomes the first team to clinch a playoff berth. They've been fantastic for Danny Cruz and company, the golden standard of USL Championship, and the Pittsburgh Riverhounds. Look out, not a matter of if, but it was always a matter of when Bob Bellay was going to get his side firing on all cylinders. Unbeaten streak to 10 as they continue to push in this Eastern Conference.
Yeah, they're going to be a tough out when they get into the postseason. And I do feel like Bob Lilly's troops have recovered nicely after what happened a year ago in their opening round exit. Team of the week, week 27, hard to believe, but that's the deployment today as we have 11 on the board.
The next Miami FC player, Paco Craig, is in the center back's position after a convincing 5-0 win against the Oakland Roots. Bradley Sample, we saw him score the goal of the week for the Riverhounds. Ezra Armstrong, Rafael Minsigan, two players set for NCFC, and then Justin Dillon, the switchback striker, as he just got acquired from El Paso Locomotive.
Take a look around the block. USL schedule, games that have been played, and games that are underway as well.
Birmingham Legion taking all 3 points midweek against the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Tom Stone has his side full of talents. Indy 11 up at halftime against El Paso Locomotive. Birmingham Legion going to Ryan Martin and Loudoun United up at halftime as well. Pittsburgh and Tampa 0-0 after 25 minutes. And Maxi Rodriguez gets the lone goal against New Mexico.
So there's goals around the league, middle of the week and tonight. The question is, will we get anything tonight? We'll find out. Highlights and stats and a whole lot more right around the corner.
Over 2,000 Toyotas are in stock and on their way to Toyota of Hollywood. Get our lowest price on every Toyota, including Corolla, Camry, Highlander, Tacoma, and RAV4. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,975. We'll pay you up to $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book value for your trade. That's $2,000 more than it's worth at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Young, hungry, determined, no icons, products of our environment, predators. This is our moment. We are Miami FC.
Portion of the broadcast, Miami FC, brought to you by micromobility.com. Toyota of Hollywood, we speak your language. Hablamos tu idioma. Audi, visit your South Florida Audi dealers today. And Baptist Health, your orthopedic care specialists. Back here with Ricky Lopez-Espin. I am David Gascon. Ricky, why don't you take us through the first half highlights, please?
It starts with, in the 10th minute, this was the best action for Miami FC through the run and play. It starts with Molina on this near side, but changing the point of attack to his counterpart, Alejandro Metrano. But if you're Michael Lawrence, you need to slash across that near post and get goal side, because that's a fantastic delivery back across from Metrano. Not even a minute later, this Hartford Athletic side were at their best when you had Mamadou Dieng in between both center backs, causing a little bit of issues, but good goalkeeping from India. Comes off his line, punches it away from traffic as we continue on into this first half. The way that Van Kezio steps into it, a bit too casual. Falls kindly to him, but he's leaning back the whole way. Put your head down, get your shoulders over the ball, and then there's no way that it goes up and over the crossbar. Probably the best opportunity that we've seen for Hartford Athletic. But Miami FC, Alejandro Metrano, I thought was really good in that first half. Watch it bend back across, trying to find eyes for that top corner, but that is some save from Ribeiro. The little stutter step to make himself big, to punch it up and over the crossbar, and to keep this thing 0-0. And yet again, Miami FC continue. Gavillanes, a player that we didn't see much of in that first 45 minutes, but a little bit of a glimpse of how good he can be. Trying to shape it and use Jordan Scarlett as the shield, but straight at Ribeiro as we take a look at the halftime stats. Possession for Miami FC, 60%, but now what do you do with that possession? How do you have more purpose on the ball for Antonio Chirino? And from Brandon Burke, shots on target only one. Need to afford a little bit more going forward.
It's been the 18th time this season, Ricky, that Miami FC has failed to score in the opening half. 18 times in 28 matches.
Especially at home, you want your side to be on the front foot. You want your side to be the protagonist. It's been the best 45 minutes for Antonio Chirino, but yet still 0-0. Only one play a game, one play away to be the difference.
What kind of adjustments would you make in the second half?
I think it's been better, especially after that hydration break for Miami FC. They had the ability to play a little bit more direct. Frank Lopez and Michael Lawrence just to go 1v1 and win their individual duels, but this is a good change for Brendan Burke. Makangila will stay home. We see Danny Barrera as well. So now you have a true number 6, you have a true number 8, and you have a true number 10. Can you afford a little bit more going forward for Hartford Athletic? 45 minutes to figure it out.
Just the opportunities Second half begins. Road team having the ball right now in Hartford. They're moving from left to right on the attack. Miami FC and their aqua kits will be moving from right to left. Again, it won't be detrimental for Hartford if they don't win, but if they can't capture a point, they're going to be in a world of hurt, especially with only a handful of games left in the regular season. Have to win tonight. They have Oakland on deck, followed by Tampa Bay, Loudoun, North Carolina, FC Tulsa, and then they close out at Orange County. So that'll be a problem, traveling obviously from the Northeast to Southern California. Only advantage will be the weather for Hartford. Take a look at the keys to the game that we had opened up with, Ricky.
For Miami FC, yet again, be a little bit more confident on the ball in this next 45 minutes. And for Hartford Athletic, I do think trusting your attacking players to be those game changers that they are, exactly what Brendan Burke has done in terms of his substitutions. Danny Barrera, Makangila coming in, now a little bit more structural in the way that you go forward.
Curious though, why do you think the changes were made to start the second half immediately?
Well, I kept mentioning it through that first 45 minutes for Hartford, Harrison, and Van Kezio. They were just occupying the same spots. There was just no connection between Mamadou Dieng and middle third. He was always getting caught on an island. So now you get a pocket presence in Danny Barrera, who likes to beat you through combination play, and also in dead balls, he gives you the quality.
Good ball player for sure for Hartford. Barrera has only played in 15 matches. Line drive delivery into the box. Bicycle kick was whipped on. Barrera in 14 matches does not have a goal with Hartford. Just one helper. Miami trying to spoil a party for Hartford. Expecting to come down to South Florida and get 3 points. They made quick work of Miami when they were at home earlier this season. But tonight's a different kind of animal. Personnel is also different for Miami FC. But as Brendan Burke had mentioned, they're a different and better team at home than on the road, and that is obvious. Miami has not won a match this year on the road. Not good. 0-11-1 if you're curious. Playing it back to Zart. Portion of the broadcast brought to you by Audi. Still shopping for that A8, Ricky? Or are you more of a coupe bot guy?
Public transportation.
Oh, no way. When you say public transportation, you mean private jet.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you mean.
Yeah.
I know you. Or the Bright Line.
Yeah, the Bright Line. There you go.
First class. I got it. I get it. It is nice. They're talking about having a Bright Line in California.
From Vegas to LA, right?
LA to Vegas and LA to San Francisco. That would be a treat. They do a good job of that in San Diego with the trolley system down there. You can pay like $1.50 and you can go to Mission Valley, the Gaslamp District, all the way over to the Mesa where San Diego State is, and then down near the border. Public transportation for Ricky Lopez Aspen. Get out of here. Nobody's believing that, Ricky. 50th minute. Handful of changes being made in the second half. Each club trying to ignite themselves. Hairston, Kyle Edwards both removed. Danny Barrera has only started 5 times this season for Hartford Athletic. Jang right here. Jang out wide on the D, got some of it, but not all of it. Jang is on the board, and for the 8th time this season, he leads Hartford and Company as they're up on the road 1-0.
Hartford Athletic goes
We've talked about this Hartford Athletic side needing a difference going forward, but look how quickly they turn their defense into offense. Nice little pick out from Joey Farrell, and you have Makangila, this single pivot. So now you afford Danny Barrera to fill in the gaps underneath Mamadou Dieng, giving him the support that a striker needs. Fantastic run, fantastic ball into his path. Takes his first touch out of his body and hits it with enough power and enough pace to get it by the goalkeeper in the blink of an eye. Hartford Athletic take the lead here in the 51st minute.
So Dieng his 8th of the season, and Barrera his 2nd helper of the year. Hard to keep this dude down for 90 minutes.
But it's the understanding, and from his movement, right when Danny Barrera takes his first touch, he's already peeling away from his defender, playing off the blind side. And we talk about the difference that Danny Barrera can bring, pull the strings from an attacking position, a pocket presence, fantastic sub from Brendan Burke, and these players reward the trust and the manager.
We'll look back at that goal again as Dieng let it rip. Nadia got a lot of it. Unfortunate for him, just overpowered the man from Senegal. Dieng now in 24 matches, 8 goals on the year. Barrera with the assist. And that's how things work. Hartford 1, Miami nothing.
You just look at the spacing now for Hartford Athletic. It's everything. As Makangila has came in, now he's going to be the single pivot, the more defensive mind in the middle of the park. And now that affords Van Cavesio and Danny Barrera to play almost like dual 10s underneath Mamadou Dieng. So the balance is a little bit better. The support is better as Samadi and Marcus have to play on either side. You can form those little triangles, and now you can really unbalance Miami FC.
So if you want to know the real-time efforts with standings, Hartford 2 points back of Pittsburgh. They're tied in points with Loudoun United, but Loudoun has a game in hand. And then the goal differential, if you want to know that, Loudoun United is actually +5. Hartford is -16. Just a couple of numbers. Rhode Island plays tonight. Rhode Island is in 7th position with 37 points. So if you're Hartford, you have no games in hand, but you have everybody in front of you, and you can conceivably knock them all down pin by pin. Mention the upcoming calendar. Yes, Hartford will have a rather poor Oakland team on the horizon at home. We'll have a tough go at it in Northern Florida at Tampa. But they have Loudoun, North Carolina, both at home. So those teams will they be fighting with for playoff positioning.
Just want to go back to the goal. Then out the spacing from Makangila. You talked about the 2 center midfielders playing on different planes. Makangila deeper, Danny Barrera in between the lines. But look at Mamadou Dieng. Right when he gets the ball, he sprints. Understands where the space is in between Danny Barrera and Junior Palacios. It's a fantastic ball, and even better run from front to back. Fantastic goal from Hartford Athletic.
Taking a shot here, blocked on the way through. It was Marcus Epps. It was a good buildup from our crew to see exactly how that unfolded, and Ricky able to walk us through that. It was almost like a 7-course meal for you. You had your espresso, then an appetizer, then a main course. And obviously
that's all my time watching film on the Bright Line.
That's right.
There
That's
you
right.
go.
See, quiet time with Ricky Lopez Espin. Gotta have a podcast on that. First class with Ricky Lopez Espin. That's what we do. Matrano with a good ball fake. Matrano, another good ball fake. That's twice. Matrano, a 3rd time trying to be a hero. Could not complete the act. We dazzled a bit. Around 3 different players for Hartford, almost the payoff.
It's been the best player for Miami FC. Comfortable on the ball, not once, not twice, but a 3rd time with the chop here. But as his ball comes a little bit horizontal, now his balance is all off. Least preferred right foot, gets it all wrong, Alejandro Matrano.
Epps, who's down. Epps has played a solid game. Jang scoring here in the second half as we look back at that sequence. Yeah, Epps, you see him hold his right groin. I don't know if it was in the liftoff or the plant, but either way, groin is unforgiving for a soccer player, especially when you're playing in these kind of conditions. It is unforgiving. We might have another change. Toure gonna come in, it appears. Not a good look for Epps.
Not what you want. If you're Brendan Burke and this Hartford Athletics side, Marcus Epps, 1 goal, 2 assists on the season, but gives you so much more in that in terms of his leadership and experience.
Yeah, you hope it's only a strain for Epps if it is the groin. And Rick, you've torn the ACL a couple times or once?
Once, but 2 knee surgeries.
Did you know it right away?
I did.
You did?
Unfortunately, yep. Not fun.
Oof. Now, what was worse, the injury itself or the rehab?
Ooh, that's a tough question. I mean, definitely, initially it's the injury, but the rehab was continuous over a course of 6 to 7, 8 months.
Yeah.
That's when the mentality and those mental games can really come into play.
Yeah, because you're in that spot where it's a recall of fight or flight. Stay in the game or not. So hopefully Epps, it's not too serious for him. Genzano, 58th minute. Lopez on the touch, looked like a handball. Palacios and Jang. Jang, hands up. Palacios just runs over that ball. Barrera wanted to work quickly and Palacios stopping it up. Jang here in the second half, Barrera the assist. Hartford did not have a single shot on goal in the opening half. First one the second half, and it hits the back of the net. Miami has now conceded 64 goals on the year. Contact inside the 18. 60th minute. Miami FC looking for any kind of offense right now. Hartford making the changes in the second half, and it has paid off. Lawrence had that ball roll up and hit his hand. Jang quickly bodied off by Cardona. Desart. Hartford not working with a short bench, but they don't have the full personnel that they want to go on the road with. Siadu picking up a couple yellows last match. So he's unavailable. Gavilanes Kicked it out to Molina. Molina, top of the box. Lopez, see if he gets it back. The swim move and around Lawrence. Lopez a little frustrated. We have not seen Frankie yet. This is probably the quietest Frankie Lopez has been all year for Miami.
I haven't really seen him get involved. The service into him has been lacking for Miami FC. It's a right idea, but just too much height underneath the ball in from Frank Lopez. Jordan Scarlett sees it the whole way. But if you can get Frank Lopez and Michael Lawrence understanding the movements off one another, now it can be a nightmare for any opponent and their two center backs, because two players that are very physical in their own rights had the legs to stretch it back line. And Frank a little bit more comfortable on the ball, but Michael Lawrence is a handful to deal with.
'62nd minute. Yeah, there have been nights that Lopez hasn't had an impact offensively, but he still plays and his work rate is high. But tonight, just one of those days. Luisinho set to come in for Miami FC. Don't have confirmation who that change will be with yet. Barbier. Quick foul, and then we'll have the substitution. So Luisinho now will be announced, replacing Michael Lawrence. 7 and 19 out. So it looks like, at least for the time being, Antonio Nocerino changing a little size for speed.
Mikey. 4. You change. Mikey.
Over 2,000 Toyotas are in stock and on their way to Toyota of Hollywood. Get our lowest price on every Toyota, including Corolla, Camry, Highlander, Tacoma, and RAV4. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,975. We'll pay you up to $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book value for your trade. That's $2,000 more than it's worth at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
So back here with Ricky Lopez Espin, I'm David Gaskell. 1-0 Hartford Athletic. Amadou Dieng, his 8th goal of the season for Hartford. The only goal in half number 2. Danny Barrera was a sub, came in the second half and led that goal. Luisinho comes in for Michael Lawrence. What gives her the change?
I think now you give Luisinho the ability to be on the ball a little bit more, to create something and require some more attention, in hopes that will free up Frank Lopez. You play 4 cross underneath Frank Lopez, Luisinho on one side, Alan Gavianis on the near side, and then you have Molina and Joey Desart playing centrally. It's a bit of a shift tactically for Antonio Nocerino, just to hope to be a little bit more compact. Your line's a lot tighter and more expansive when you're on the ball.
64th minute. And for Miami, want to play spoiler, but tonight's influence hasn't been much. Pretty big contact there and a yellow card. The first of the evening.
It's 2 right here. Yet again, just tries to play this ball into the path.
Your attention, please. A yellow card.
So Touré with the yellow card. Hartford unbeaten their last 8 when scoring the first goal of the match. Touré is a sub. Comes in and take a look at this infraction again.
It's a right leg that catches Junior Palacios. The studs are exposed. I don't think there's any ill will.
But why a yellow?
Because the studs are exposed. It's still a foul. You see how high that left leg of his was. Catches Junior Palacios. But we saw earlier Junior Palacios will make the most of it.
Yeah.
Try to get any sort of advantage that he can.
Kadeem Ndiaye getting another start tonight. Kadim coming into this contest, a 1-6 record. The goals against at 179. Save percentage is good at 740. That's not the problem. It's the goal support and being stuck in a vulnerable land with Miami FC's defense. Antonio Nocerino has spoken positively about his keeper, saying that his range and his size, loves his energy. And obviously with that 6'7" frame can cover large portions of the net. Gavilanes, no lift on it though. Samadia. Hartford working quickly with Miami trying to deliver some pressure. Now the question is twofold. Can Hartford get an insurance marker? And Ibero capture another clean sheet. Another foul here.
Not the best first touch from Jang, but actually plays into his favor because Junior Palacios comes in really aggressive. And as the ball comes around the corner, he takes him out of the game. Junior Palacios getting pulled out of position. All of the body, none of the ball. Clean foul.
Jane, the hero so far for the road team. Miami looking to spoil the party. I don't have a lot of time to work with though. 23 minutes plus. Barbier just a little overzealous in that ball. And now the counter comes. Jang wants service against Palacio. He's marked. Outside movement. Toure goes down with a weak forearm shiver. It must play on that situation. Toure could have been blown over and he was falling down no matter what. Some pretty big contact there as they want to press on. Molina, who got flattened.
Your attention, please. Substitution for Hartford Athletic. Out number 37, Duntuma Toure. In number 21, Griffin Tomas.
Tomas will come in. Toure out. That's a quick hook. What's up with that, Ricky?
Yeah, frustrating for Toure. Don't take it kindly if you're a player. You get subbed in the second half and get pulled off about 20 minutes after. He does pick up a yellow, but if you're Brendan Burke, you have to think it's a little bit of man managing. Don't want to lose this advantage that you have. You understand how important these 3 points are. You don't want to run the risk of going down a man.
Understandable. So Matrano though with a cold shoulder, and we have another collision. Barrera and Gavilanes. All right, beg your pardon, Farrell.
There's shouts from the Hartford Athletic side asking for a foul on Alejandro Matrano. In my opinion, I don't think there's anything there. He just comes in, makes himself big and gets to the ball first between him and the Shields. And for the second ball, Joey Farrell gets all of the ankle from Gavilanes. Really important set piece here for the home side if they want to claw themselves back into this game.
That's 100% on him.
Brendan Burke on the sideline. Not happy with it. Gavilanes is here. We'll see who's inside the 18. Palacios is all the way out wide to the right, to the top. Lopez, Matrano. Cardona's also there. Gavilanes. And Barrow will grab it. More changes coming from Miami. Got to imagine there's about 25 minutes left in this game. Chang looks like he's okay after being upended. Eight goals in the year for Jang. Misha Galina has 8. Van Kazeel had a good look in the first half. That shot blocked by Barbier. It'll be a corner kick for the road team.
Been a different performance for Van Kazeel in the second half. Now he has a more attacking-minded role for the center midfielder to pick up second balls and continue to push the tempo. No one's going to make a run. Why not call your own number? Good defending action from Danny Barbier in the end.
Loudoun and Birmingham tied at 2-2. Indy up 2-0 over El Paso. Detroit 1-0 over New Mexico. Pittsburgh at the half 1-0. The header just missing, sprinkled up. Nadia came out of his net. Back post header. Nadia got the first one. He can't grab the second one. There's Joey Farrell on the spot. It's 2-0 Hartford. Oh, what a great stop by Nadia, point blank. But Farrell did not give up on the play. It's his second goal of the year. That could be all she wrote for the home side.
Just no help for NDA. Does well to deal with the ball in. We talked about set pieces, especially with how important and how tightly contested that this game will be. Trang, it's a fantastic ball back across where it comes from. No marking, no responsibility at the back post. And as NDA makes their first initial save, every single player in a Miami FC jersey just gets caught ball watching. Joey Farrell first to react after his own rebound. Second goal of the season, doubles Hartford Athletics' lead here in South Florida.
Change is coming for Miami FC. Joseph and Bodo will enter the fray. So this will be huge for Hartford. They'll sweep the season series with Miami, and if they can get in the postseason, this is a good portion of that. Grabbing all 6. And now you got to imagine if you're Brendan Burke and everyone right now on the sidelines for his side, they're probably pulling out an iPad or a smartphone, looking at the scoreboard, watching the other games from out of town. Take care of business here in the second half. 2 second half goals. Farrell after Jang had scored.
What a match for Joey Farrell as well. He was the one that forces a turnover on the opening goal, plays it into Makangila, and kickstart that attacking action. Now he gets his own goal. And a fantastic acquisition for this Hartford Athletic side and Brendan Burke, having himself some evening here in Miami. Good ball.
Out wide again, penetrating the back line defense, but this will be a goal kick.
No, you're good.
Orange County and Rhode Island later on tonight. That's huge for both sides. Out wide, Joseph here. Joseph, the cross. That's escaped by Hartford.
Come on!
Barbier probably should have played that down the middle of the pitch, did not. So the focus here tonight was what Hartford would do. Will they overlook the opposition and roll over? Or would they elevate when they needed to? Good effort in the first half, didn't have any shots to show for it. Here in the second half, they've turned up the heat. Farrell, after Jang's goal, almost the two, found the sweet spot, and for Miami FC, they're in peril. Sino, back post, no elevation on it. Pretty decent contact. This should be a booking, and it will be a yellow card. And the physicality was there from Metrano, but a bit anxious.
Frustration for Metrano. Set some good moments, but just loses this individual duel here. Samadia, handful of the jersey. A little kick out there, and that's rash, I'll tell you. His right foot comes across, catches the right ankle, and he knows it. Picks up a yellow card in his own doing.
We don't have to force the pockets anymore. We don't have to force them. Go simple around, and then when it's on, it's on. No pressure, no pressure. Jordan, no pressure.
Taking the goals in this thing. Second half, it's all about Hartford, Ricky.
Fantastic ball in from Makangila to Danny Barrera, but it's all about the run from Jang. Plays in between both center backs, Palacios and Danny Barbier. And he's gonna look at this one and says he should have this one back. He made contact with it, should push it wide of your post, but Jang says thank you very much. And that second goal was always gonna be important for Hartford Athletic, but just look at the lack of defending, the lack of man responsibility for Miami FC. No one's there to react, and as a goalkeeper, you can only do so much. Jory Farrell at the doorstep, gets his own rebound, and doubles the lead for the visiting side.
Now I got the ability to edit pretty well, so if I'm cutting up a highlight package for Kadeem Nadie, I'm making that save. Hard cut right there. It's a great save on Nadie. Tough night at the office though for Miami. Conceding a couple goals here in the second half. Minute. Hartford will improve their record now to 9-12-7 on the year. And more importantly, they'll get their second win on the road. Building some confidence on the road, always important, but doing so at the tail end of the year will help their cause. Prior to tonight's contest, they had picked up a point in 3 straight occasions. They were all just draws. They had beat Lou City on August the 24th, And August the 17th, prior to that, they took apart Las Vegas. Last time they suffered a defeat was on August the 10th against Rhode Island. But back-to-back wins against Las Vegas and Lou City. Open net here, it's gonna be 3-0, a disaster and a breakdown. And that is a nail in the coffin and more salt in the wound. Jang on the spot in the 81st minute. This thing is over. I'm all for Jang celebrating too, Ricky.
Continues to pay dividends for his manager, Brendan Burke. It's an uh-oh moment in the back for this Miami FC side, just not clean enough. One of the easiest, if not the easiest goal Jang will score in his professional career. Gets his brace and gives Hartford Athletic their third in the 82nd minute.
So they'll have gone unbeaten in 6 straight. Capturing points in all 6 is huge. But getting 3 points tonight, Jang with the brace. We're gonna have to start stacking Jang's celebrations too. Have to put those on your power rankings list, Rick. Yeah, USL Championship does a good job every week to have power rankings, but we can do that for Jang on goal celebrations.
There you go.
Might not be a bad idea. Of course, I think there's a guy in Charleston that might have a thing or two to say about all that.
A lot of practice on his goal celebrations, right? 25 and counting.
Absolutely.
A team that is currently losing to the Switchbacks 1-0. As we take a look at around the USL Championship, Detroit City up against New Mexico in the 82nd minute. Maxi Rodriguez's pen is the difference at the moment in time. Indy 11, 3-1 up against El Paso Locomotive at home. Loudoun United, after being down, now turned their tied 3-2 at home against Birmingham Legion, 83rd minute there. Tampa Bay Rowdies losing to Riverhounds, 53rd in Tampa. Good challenge from Scarlett.
Yeah, Scarlett, nice play on the recovery.
And Memphis 901 up 2-0 against North Carolina FC. Justin Malou picks up a red card on FC Tulsa, and Lou City just kicking off 0-0 in minute 13.
I mean, these things change every week, but do you have a change in your opinion on who the best team is right now?
Lou City.
Yeah, Lou City by far?
I think they're the most complete side from top to bottom. Acquisition of Philip Goodrum just makes them that much more deep in the attacking phase of the game. Really difficult to see a team taking them down as we approach a playoff picture.
Lopez had taken away from him. Shot was blocked on the way through by Joseph. '84th minute. Now the only question that stands, will Ribeiro record a clean sheet? Has 5 on the year, looking to get to 6. He would improve his record to 8, 6, and 7 on the year and help lower his goals against average. More changes coming. This one will be for Hartford. The Shields will depart. Freeman will come in for him. 28 for 24.
Your attention, please. Substitution for Hartford Athletic. Out number 24.
One thing for Brendan Burke's troops, they didn't panic as we look at the real-time standings in the Eastern Conference. Lou City, your team, Ricky, 4 in front of Charleston, Tampa. That's a pretty wide delta between 1 and 3. Western Conference is a mess.
Yeah, really tight.
Yeah.
And as you take a look at the lower part, Hartford Athletic continuing to push up on that playoff line. Loudoun United, 1 of 3 points that would be for Ryan Martin to push himself back over that playoff line.
After tonight's contest, Miami FC have one more home match. It'll be home against Pittsburgh, and then we will sign off. Questions will remain. What happens to this team at the end of the season? Personnel. Front office questions. A hard year for Antonio Nocerino. First year as the head coach of Miami FC, and it was a completely overhauled roster. Top to bottom, they had less than 5 guys that remained on the roster from last year. And a couple of those guys moved on this year. '87th minute. Oh, Jang here, another yellow card being delivered. This one to Lopez. That was immediate. Jang down again in agony. Man does not go down easy, and Lopez struck him and acknowledged it.
We've talked about what a frustrating evening it's been for Frank Lopez. Just doing well, getting away with it, and taking out Zhang. Picks up his yellow card, as will be the last action for Alejandro Mitrano. Santana will come on. Take a look at Frank Lopez here. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you can argue that can be a different color.
Yeah.
Full intent off the Achilles heel, no play on the ball whatsoever. Really dangerous from Frank Lopez. Would have not been surprised if Nabil Ben Salah pulled out a different color there. No need.
You know, if we rewind the clock 6 years, I think you're picking up red for retaliating.
100%.
100%, right? That's why I'm shocked that no one came to Jang's defense. In a game like this, in a situation like this, for all intents and purposes, your best player gets spiked like that.
Now if you're Brendan Burke, would not be surprised if we even see Jang come off the field as well.
Yeah.
Try to keep him healthy with the frustration coming out of these Miami FC players.
And I get it. You don't want to have any kind of retaliation, which would cause missing one match, getting potentially fined for any kind of altercation. But there's a time and a place for everything. And I think in that moment, Brendan Burke's probably going to have a message to his guys after this game is over. Yeah, you beat the weaker team, but you didn't defend one of your top guys in an intense moment.
Good ball.
Jang here. Across the middle. Slowly developing. Kadim Nadia vacates Barrera. Jang will wind this one up. Goes into the bleachers. '90th minute. Check our 4th official for stoppage time. We'll have our Cricket Wireless Man of the Match coming up in a couple of minutes. Miami will fall to 3-23-2 on the year, and they'll go to 3-12-1 on home ground. Almost an own goal there. They have conceded 66 goals on the year. And with the competition that they have coming up, they might concede 80 when the season's over with. It's conceivable to concede 15 goals in the final stretch of games. Four minutes of added time. Besides the final home game of the season against Pittsburgh, Miami will have Rhode Island, Detroit, Lou City, Indy 11, and Birmingham on the docket.
Your attention, please. The fourth official has indicated there'll be 4 minutes of added stoppage tonight.
Ibero quickly out wide. Van Kazeel. Good ball forward. Chang wanted to go on another run, but Barbier marked him this time. Out on the boundary. Chang is on the right-hand side. We'll see if he gets this ball. Great stop by Nadie.
Tyler Freeman's going to be a really interesting pickup for this Hartford Athletic side. So he had spent time with Loudoun United, had the chance to speak with Ryan Martin, the Loudoun United manager, about him. Said he is the most talented player I've coached. It hasn't really came to fruition in terms of his career USL Championship, but the talent is always there. A team that is continue to push in this Eastern Conference. Watch out for Tyler Freeman to be that difference maker and really contributing on the goals and assists for this Hartford Athletic side.
For some reason, Hartford doesn't want to get this thing over with. Trying to be as deliberate as one can be on a corner. Barrera. Cricket Wireless man of the match, Alejandro Metrano. Probably the best player of the night for Miami SC.
The most attacking threat for Antonio Torino, the left back. Deservingly of the Cricket Wireless man of the match.
I like how you said that.
Learned from you. The best.
Oh, no.
Hablamos tu idioma.
Oh, don't take, oh, man. My Spanish is getting better, Ricky. Grandparents and great-grandparents will be proud.
There you go.
Accentuate that Spanish. My Espanol. Taught by Bruno Santos, our executive producer for tonight's show. Barrera gave it back. Good feed again to DA, though, quickly out on it, disrupting Jang's hat trick bid. Closing stages of this contest. Well played, though, clinical for Hartford. On the road, hasn't been easy for them. They had to work, but they did work and they were rewarded. The header, nice stop by Ibero, and that should do it for his clean sheet. Hartford gonna grab their 9th win of the season. They have 12 defeats, 7 draws, but more importantly, they climbed the ladder and they have 34 points as we have reached full time in South Florida. Hartford Athletic scoreless at the end of the first half with Miami FC. They turned on the burners in half number 2. Mamadou Jang with a brace, scoring the game-winning goal, and it was all she wrote. Hartford 3, Miami nothing.
This game changed when Brendan Burke made the halftime subs. You bring in Makangila, now you have 4 players underneath. Mamadou Jang, Joey Fair was fantastic. A big 3 points up for grabs. They needed them. They got them. Brendan Burke, a happier manager.
They are unbeaten in their last 6. And that includes a victory here tonight. Final score again, Hartford Athletics sweeps the season series away from Miami SC by a final score of 3-0. Stats, highlights, post-game show coming up next.
Over 2,000 Toyotas are in stock and on their way to Toyota of Hollywood. Get our lowest price on every Toyota, including Corolla, Camry, Highlander, Tacoma, and RAV4. Like a Corolla LE, not $24,000, $17,975. We'll pay you up to $2,000 over Kelley Blue Book value for your trade. That's $2,000 more than it's worth at Toyota of Hollywood on 441 between Hollywood Boulevard and Sheridan Street. Open till midnight.
Put a bow on this thing. Miami FC falls at home to Hartford Athletic 3-0. Mamadou Dieng, the hero in this one, a brace, the game-winning goal. Early in the second half with Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm David Gascon. Ricky, we close up shop, taking a look. Full-time highlights in this thing. Take it away.
Hartford Athletic and Brendan Burke's side starting in that second half. You brought in Makangila, now you afford Danny Barrera to play in that pocket presence. But when he receives this ball, it's all about the movement from Mamadou Dieng. Peels off of Junior Palacios, can't rotate over. Danny Barbier slow and coverage. You give a player that time and space in the attacking 18-yard box, he's gonna make you pay. He gets his first on the evening. And set pieces, we talked about how tightly contested this game has been. You're just asking for someone to make a play and someone for Antonio Chirino's side to be responsible in terms of the man marking. No way at this USL Championship level can Joey Farrell head this ball up, get it back on his own feet, pop it into the back of the net with not a player within 5 yards for Miami FC. You get the double for Hartford Athletic, and they weren't done yet. Goes from bad to worse for Antonio Chirino's side. And yeah, just takes his eye off it. A bit schoolboy naive from the goalkeeper. And Dieng says, thank you very much. I'll get my brace, and I'll give Hartford Athletic 3 goals on this evening and a massive 3 points.
Next contest for Hartford is on September the 21st against Oakland. Miami FC goes on the road at Birmingham. For Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm David Gascon. Hope you enjoy this one. Hartford wins it on the road. They sweep the season series by a final score of 3-0. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. So long.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.